Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 674. Today, doing battle with Vanessa. And so, another day, another Vanessa battle. Who even cares about the other champions, right? It's going to be probably 11 Vanessa mirror matches today. Call up Reynad and tell him all the other champions are fake news. This is all just Vanessa. No complaints. Good stuff. And so, let's see what kind of start we get here. Head into Vanessa's quarters. Either got a medium silver tier item and a silver skill, or we got an enchanted bronze tier item with a bronze skill. And with this, I'm not the hugest fan of caring about silver items, right? Silver items aren't that big of a deal. The way I tend to start out all of these games is just getting a bunch of bronze stuff and then hoping to run into B1, B2. And so coming up with something silver isn't that big of a deal to me when we could come out here and just high roll dumb shit off of the enchanted bronze item. And so we'll take this. We'll pray to the meme gods, our meme lords, see if they bring us a good enchantment today. Last time I took this, it was a radiant a radiant cannonball, which is not impressive by any means, but radiant grenade, not that bad here at an early start, along with right eye as a decent aggressively based skill. And so reasonable enough stuff. Now moving forward, don't really want to go to the strange mushroom. We don't get too many combos out of it. Let's just take the treasure chest item and see if we can't get something good here early. And the scaling out of seaweed, not that bad. Now with this, I think the Kyver drone is the best start in the game that we can get. The Lang Zang, just a super top tier item to be picking up here early. You can upgrade it pretty quickly. And so if we can get that thing started, it's something we can realistically build around the entirety of the game. And then otherwise, the crit's pretty decent. The cooldown reduction isn't worthless, and got a pretty good chance of hitting something valuable. All right, just take a little bit of time. How you fake news non-Vanessa players doing out there? Just playing Dooley, getting three wins a run? That's how it felt last patch. Last patch, I played all Vanessa, and she could win games, but she was nowhere near the strength of Fixer Upper Pig, and was definitely nowhere in the strength of Beast of Burden Pig when that got to be a thing for like 3 days. But things are turning around now. All right, so what do we got here? Not going to Curio. We don't have the money for it. The tiny monster I don't like unless we have something to activate the experience point, a friend, a toy, whatever it takes to do that. We don't have it here, and so we'll just take the spare change. 3 gold is whatever. Might turn out to be a little bit better if we can hold on to it until B1, B2 turns up, but that's fine for the moment. With this stuff, I don't super like ammo items on the early days. It's just, you know, you take your one toss of the Radiant Grenade and then you're out of ammo, but you've only dealt 20% of the opponent's health. We need stuff that can, you know, just regularly grind out damage here on the first few days. And so we'll just go to the Jungle Ruins. Maybe something useful will turn up here with the regen, and then we'll see if we can't just scale through this Vanessa with our seaweed. Oh no, it's Rono. Bringing in the seaweeds. Let's see how they do. It's always a real toss-up here on these early days, how much people care. Starting with Catfish is exceptionally strong. Yeah, this guy's super strong. We're never having a chance against this build. But that's okay. It's fairly tough to combat this. He looks like he got at least a 2 bronze skill start, right? He picked up the 1 skill off of the insect thing we fought. He's got 2 bronze skills up at the top. Managed to find some way to spend all that money. Not that bad. All right, day 2. So much for the perfect run. Let's just quit, am I right? Let's just quit. That's what I do when the going gets tough. Just quit. That's what the saying says. So what are we going to do here? Got the small and medium items. Works for me. Those freebie shops aren't that great. Upgrade to seaweed. Pretty interesting here for the early game. I don't have any real desire to carry seaweed into the late game, but running into day 7, day 8 or so, this will still be a very relevant item and still quite worth building around here in the early days. That scaling can be very challenging for opponents to beat. If you're up against ammo Vanessas, you survive their initial flurry, then the scaling on seaweed should hopefully carry you the rest of the way. And so with that in mind, I don't like Narwhal, but with its ability to kind of scale up seaweed, we'll take it while we can. Gonna pass on Chimera though. And then with this other stuff, upgrade to grenade, sure. Not that excited about it, since we would prefer to just go to B1, B2. But getting a crit off of Radiant Grenade is just a massive spike of RNG, and so I think we'll go ahead and pick up that as well. All right, so what do we got in the skills? Not a lot of great stuff. We can stack up on Right Eye here, which is kind of fine if we want to, say, build towards single item like we typically do. It gives you that nice bridge between Crow's Nest and then what it takes to get up to 100% crit. And so we'll see how that plays itself out. But here, we've got the Mountain Pass. I go to this literally every single time. But on the early days, I'm not certain the percentage chance of hitting a legitimate opponent on Escort the Convoy. And you do run into the issues as to where, if we hit like Eccentric Ether Rider, there's just a big chunk of PvE encounters we can't beat. So I'm just going to take the gold and the EXP point here. Even if we were stronger, like if we were strong enough to beat literally every PvE round with what we have on board, I still don't think I would be really excited about taking it, just because that item turns up so much, and getting the upper hand on experience in the early game is so important that I think I'd probably still just do that on day 2. Now, I don't have any numbers to back that up, but it feels like I hit the item just like way too often to be happy about. Now with this stuff, I'm kind of questionable here. I don't know if we can beat the Rogue Scrapper. Like, we certainly don't deal enough damage to kill him. Like the Piranha, Narwhal just aren't going to actually do anything. But I'm curious if the Seaweed can't just scale hard enough to win. Probably not. If we had like a Beach Ball or something on board, I think we could do it, but I'm a little leery about just coming in and losing that round. So we'll fight the Mosquito. Still decent rewards out of here. Want to find Rush. That's the big one. Keen Eye's fine. The cooldown reductions are fine. Who knows? After that last game, maybe we end up building up with the Proboscis, see what kind of memes we can bring on the people. But here, should be a pretty easy aquatic item. That's all we're looking for to stack on the board. Really unfortunate that it's an upgrade. I don't actually care about the aquatic items on board as long as they're just activating and boosting the Seaweed. And so that was a really bummer of a hit there, spiking the Piranha, which is a shit item, and not letting us get the additional stacks of damage on board. So moving on, I don't want to go to the non-weapon items because we just don't have the money. We'll go to Finn's Big Bite. Not going to upgrade the Seaweed. It feels kind of meh to me. We'll get that 20 heal bonus pretty quick. We're just going to take the regen here. A lot of damage-based builds can't really handle bigger regen numbers here in the early game. Give us a little bit of time for that Seaweed to scale up as well. Now with this, there is a bit of consideration in putting the Piranha to the right, so it gets up to that 40% crit. I don't think it's just ever going to deal enough real damage, right? If we had a like Honing Steel, then maybe we would be okay with that, so we could scale up the Piranha and try and get some big crit damage in. But this isn't going to be about winning the round. It's going to be about not losing the round. And so, unfortunately, ran up against another pretty heavily scaled Vanessa. I don't think our Seaweed's going to be able to stop this, but like, we're never winning a damage race here, right? Putting that Piranha to the right, even if it crit every single time, there's a 0% chance it would deal enough damage to win this round. Bummer of a start. Bummer of a start. If we're quitting at 0-1, we definitely should quit at 0-2. That's the way it is, huh? That's the way it is. So what do we got? Not a great set in here. I usually don't take the item, but we just got to get something on board here. And so Cannonball ties in with that. Just got to literally fill out this space with anything. Been kind of denied that up to this point. Okay, so let's hear, leaning towards just taking the regen. It's tough for me to decide if we really kind of prefer the regen or the chocolate bars. We are going to run into a lot of mid-game battles to where the regen isn't going to heal 50 health, right? It needs like 18 seconds for 3 regen to outdo 50 health coming from the chocolate bars. So we should probably just take the chocolate bars. And I'm a little light on money, not super excited about going and fighting that, going into these PvE rounds with the just limited board that we have. But I think it'll be okay. B1, B2 turn up now. Again, kind of unfortunate, the board that we've got up to this point. It's going to essentially pay for itself, making the spare change worth 6 gold instead of 3. But I'm just like a little bit more interested in going to small and medium items at this point, since I don't really care about upgrading Narwhal, or we've got even the Piranha was upgraded, and so it's not really going to do a ton for us. So let's see if we can't get something out of here. Lang Zang, it's just too late for. Catfish could kind of work. It's an aquatic item. Let's actually pick that one up and then move on. I don't want Cutlass at this point. And then Beach Ball kind of does some stuff. I don't think we're going to be able to afford it. Where are we at? We're at 6 gold. We'd have to sell 2 things to pick up a Beach Ball. I mean, it's pretty strong on the board that we have. It's probably worth just getting rid of Narwhal to pick it up. So we'll say sell the Narwhal, put the cooldown reduction onto Seaweed, and then pick up Beach Ball. Gets us somewhere. A lot more aquatic activations. Works nicely with that. Works nicely with the catfish that we just picked up. Trying to make something out of this shitty start. And so let's see what we can do. I don't know if we can beat the Eccentric Ether, right? Like, I feel like this is one that we can definitely win if the RNG hits us right. If the RNG hits us well, we might actually be kind of okay in the sense that the Radiant Grenade has some opportunities to break down the opposing shield, but the majority of our damage is going to be coming out of Catfish. And counting on Catfish damage to break through the force field is kind of scary. But I think I'm okay with the Dabbling Apprentice. It's like we're missing out on experience points, right? This is our second round to where we chose not to fight the big boss, but I'm kind of hoping with this one, it's like at least if we hit Bottled Lightning, we're strong with the Cannonball. We have, the Cannonball minorly working with Fire Potion. The 2 experience vials could catch us back up and get us to that 3 experience points, and we're never losing this one. And so I don't think we're in like panic mode just yet. I don't think we have to ultra worry about our current state, but hitting the daggers, bullshit. Just the literal worst option coming through. Like even reload would have been pretty decent with the Radiant Grenade on board, but fucking is what it is today. We spent all of our good luck on the previous video. So now with this, can't do weapons. We don't have the money. We can go to the Lost Crate and pick up a free skill. It's probably going to be a burn skill or something. What the fuck is this? When you or your enemy burns, gain 4 regen for the fight. Okay. Might be kind of incidentally useful. I don't think that... I mean, maybe it does really kind of open up the opportunity to look towards a Weather Glass. Just like, it's a very... big amount of regen coming in when you say like 4x activate a Weather Glass and have a Pop Snappers on the side or something. Maybe that'll be a thing. So we'll try and keep that in mind. But moving on, we don't have the money for skills or these other things, so we'll just get a weapon. I guess Switchblade's fine. Better than the Tasdanian Dagger, I guess. Ugh, what a shit show of a round. Boop, boop. At least get some of these upgrades hitting on the Switchblade. I think we still want to keep our crit on the Seaweed. Now that we have more activations, I kind of feel like the Seaweed should be able to carry us on into the later part of the round. What do we got here? Just another... it's a Poison Vanessa. There's no way we can beat these. It's like we're half-assed too hard at this moment. Right, we've got this little weird chunk of red damage out here, and then we're trying to do poison damage on the other side. Right, now he just heals it back, and we're so far behind because he's going to be getting the pufferfish activations. Bummer Central out here. I don't know. I don't think there's a ton of angles we could have really taken these shops early to not just end with this shit tier setup. I don't know. Maybe I put too much credit into that early start trying to hit on the enchanted item. But we'll move on. Pick up the skills. What you got for us? Don't hate the idea of coming in and picking up something like Final Flame. Like I just have some kind of feels that Heat Lover has a lot of potential to be decent. Just like spiking 20, 40, 60 regen against these really aggressive Vanessas is quite strong. Could look at Final Dose. We don't again, like, don't have to panic. We don't have to get good immediately. We can still lose the next 2 days and then go on a win streak and have a loss to give. But I'm just like so against building towards non damage based items with Vanessa. We could speculate on the final flame. Let's do it.
There are greater trainers than me. I'm just getting you ready for them.
And so I think the thing I will call out as we look to go to the final flame, and it'll immediately hit furnace, is that I kind of expect these things to be like 7-win builds. It takes a lot of help from RNGesus to turn a non-damage based Vanessa build into a 7-winner or into a 10-winner, and so you're kind of aiming for 7, and then if you spike on enchants, you might be able to do something. And so we'll keep that in mind in terms of like power spiking and trying to get advantages later on in the game. But now with this, catfish is fine. As far as these other small items go, could look to take concealed dagger. Might get to pick up some nice financial bonuses out of this thing over the course of the next couple of days. And what do we got here? Definitely can't beat Flame Juggler. I think we can beat Retiree, though. We don't need a ton of help in terms of outscaling the golf clubs. So let's see what we can do. Shit, we got an extra hex on board. Fuck. Hopefully it's okay. Hopefully it's okay. I was gonna say, I think ideally though he's gonna kind of struggle with our poison, and then we're really stacking up this regen. You can see it building up nicely at 28. We're gonna heal through a lot of the nonsense that he's able to do and just stay at max health for the majority of the round. All right, so do we hate the idea of Weatherglass? I mean, as we come out here and fight a mid-tier PvE round and really, really smash them good, is the Weatherglass something that might be on the table with this? We'll see. I'm just like, I just don't hate the abilities that we pick up out of this Heat Lover. Can really try and drive this thing home. And so with that in mind, I'm not like super excited about trying to pick up more regen or going to Finn's Big Bite to pick up more regen. Maybe it's okay. Like we have to go to the weapon round. Otherwise, like I usually don't like going to these weapon rounds unless we have the ability to roll. And it's like if we purchase something like getting this gold grenade, it makes it much more challenging to roll. But this looks like it might be the point to where we just pivot to our real build. Come in and pick up the double barrel to go with that gold grenade. You could definitely see something working with this. So that's nice. Let's hit up the docks at this point. Maybe we can get another weapon to work with this. Briefcase at least gives us a bunch of money. Okay. Up against Dooley. That's probably a free win, right? That's probably a free win. So let's see. I'm wanting to get the double barrel in. I'm fine to kind of give up on the concealed dagger at this point. Just use it on the PvE rounds if we can. So we look decent on the damage. This is not a particularly strong double barrel. It's just bronze. But it's probably worth keeping on board as opposed to something like Briefcase. It's going to deal 150 damage pretty quickly, compared to the Briefcase needing 16 seconds to deal 150 damage. And so I think that's fine to keep in. Okay. See what we can do against Old Dooley. We might have wanted to push the grenade out to the right, just really upgrade our chances of popping for the 300 damage with that thing. So we got kind of a hot mess of a friends build out here. Fuck, he hit our catfish. Like that was what I had in my head here, is when I saw his Dianosaur. It's like as long as he doesn't hit the catfish, then we're probably okay. We get this nice like burst of damage in early, and then the catfish can hold on for the rest of the way. But losing that as the first unit was fucking disaster. All right, all right. So what you got for us here? You gotta push away from the heat lover. I think it's gonna do us a bit of work here with just like the heat lover and the lighter and holding on for a few rounds. But I unfortunately think that we got to switch over to the double barrel, and so I'm gonna pick up the bloodhound. It's going to work nicely if we're in just like an all-in quick damaged ammo build, or if we're in a single item build, like if we go sniper rifle, you hit once with the sniper rifle, drop your opponent to about a third health, and the bloodhound gets a huge amount of activation time for it. And so I think we'll have some opportunities there. So now with this, I'm just going to take get a weapon. Again, we're kind of hurting for money. The fuck is this thing? 50 damage, 8 burn, 6 poison. I mean, I guess we'll use that. I guess we'll use that for a little while. It's got the burn on it, right? So it's got to be useful. Now here we'll take the lost crate. I want to upgrade our double barrel. Well, you get the upgrade hammer, then you can upgrade the double barrel, however it wants to go. So that's fine. Let's get this bullshit out of here, huh? Let's start playing for real. Get the bullshit out. Get to cracking with the junkyard catapult. I'm on board. Get aboard something like this. Maybe get to use the concealed dagger. Stack up a little bit of damage on double barrel, but count on the catapult to deal most of the damage. Okay, that's fine. And then with this, we have a couple of options. The Preening Duelist has a bunch of good ammo stuff, which I don't hate. We don't have a crow's nest at this point, and so a lot of that ammo stuff is quite good, even if it's hitting like an ammo flask. Maybe we end up going just full on junkyard catapult with ammo flask and a captain's wheel or something. And so there's some interesting hits out of there. Rocket Trooper is really good in the sense of hitting a bunch of crit stuff, and he also has flashy reload as a skill. We won't get nearly as much out of Mod Squad though. We were just going there for the experience points. I think I'm going to go to the Preening Duelist. I think he has the most opportunities for us to get better right now. Right, hitting pistol sword would be good. The all talk is good. A second cannonball is fine. Double gunpowder would be decent. Like just all of these things help us get good right now, so we can kind of pivot away from the more off-centered things we're doing here. And very strong. While you have more than half health, your weapons get plus 25 damage. Very strong for go wide kind of strategies. So picking up that, let's go to the small item shop. I'd love to find ammo flask. We'll take the lighter for now. That's fine. I would love to find. Nice, just nailing all of them. I was gonna say I'd like ammo flask. I like just kind of like any weapon we can get on board right now that has ammo. But I think that this will be okay. I don't think we want to go silencer. Like hitting on all talk and having things like keen eye, bloodhound. I think that we're gonna want to stay wide on this one, so we'll skip over that. Okay. And so here, I think we can start playing a little bit towards the long game, right? We can still lose this round and have a loss to give, and so I'm leaning towards taking the 100 health off of snack time instead of taking the temporary boost out of Jules Cafe. And now let's come in and upgrade this this double barrel. Let it refill with the powder flask. We'll just accept we're only getting 2 shots out of the junkyard catapult. But do we want the ammo flask out here at the double barrel out here at the end? Picking up that extra crit, probably a bit more important than the grenade. Switchblade's not going to have a good position with it set up like this, but I think that's fine. On an 8-second cooldown, that's so slow. Okay, I think I can. Let's actually just do this. We'll bring the concealed dagger in. All this shit attacks so slow. I mean, maybe the dagger is just better, so that it can just be on that 4-second cooldown. Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's see what we can do. See if things turn here. Now, the kind of bummer with the skill that we just picked up is a lot of these Vanessas just deal so much damage so fast, you lose out on it pretty quick. It should hold on strong against this opponent, but it's definitely not going to last forever in terms of how long that health stays up. Just annihilated that guy, though. That feels good, right? Feels good to to come out and finally get a win. What dealt the most of our damage there? Just we crit a bunch with Radiant Grenade. It hit twice, no crits. 675 out of the double barrel, no surprises there. Got a ton of crits, even though the crit damage is pretty low. All right, looking good. Looking good. Let's pick up this loot item at this point. Dude, man, do we ever stick with this junkyard catapult? We had quite a bit of burn stacked up on that round. I was glad to see how that played itself out. Where'd this fucking upgrade hammer come from? Oh, that was our loot item and we just didn't look at it. Okay, we can upgrade Cannonball. That's very, very real upgrade. So moving forward, I think I just want to take chocolate bars at this point. I don't think we're going to long-term be a burn build. Like, we could go to the furnace and either... well, I don't want Sneaky Pete, whatever the fucking bird is called, but Pop Snappers would be interesting with the ammo stuff that we're starting to do. This is like I'm kind of curious if our health is enough with being able to gain that regen off the heat lever. That's pretty close. I don't think we want to go to small items at this point. We're pretty locked and loaded on these small items. We've hit just about everything we want.
But can we get moving?
All right, let's take the burn item. It's at least a good replacement for the dagger at this point. We land the Pop Snappers. Okay, so moving on. Non-weapon items. Let's see what's here. Oh man, landing on Swashbuckle. That gives that gives us like so much build around potential out here. And so what I would really consider with Swashbuckle, and the way I would try and look at this, as this is like a super high powered pickup at this point, is would look for Vanessa's amulet and we'd look for that little rock thing, and then just have those two items be our those two items be our crit enhancers. And then we can try and stick with this other stuff. But to me, like the kind of downside of going towards Swashbuckle is it really wants to be a 2-item build, and we kind of need to be fast. And so if we're going to be like a fast 2-item build, then the Swashbuckle can really only hit 1 item. Right? Kind of waiting 6 seconds on Junkyard Catapult to activate is a pretty long time to wait. So the thing that I would be kind of looking at would be like we got to say powder flask to the left, double barrel. We got to say the briefcase is now our Swashbuckle. Out here to the right, the Junkyard Catapult would be a crow's nest. And then we look to put another medium item here in the middle. But that medium item in the middle needs to be something fast. Curious what we could put it out here to be. It's just like so expensive. We have to basically like super invest in this Swashbuckle if we want to go this route. And we're already kind of set up to be a width-based build, and so I don't really want to push away from the width to go down to 2-item with this. But at the end of the day, like the thing that I just had in the back of my head is we're going to be going for a captain's wheel. And so the captain's wheel would be where the briefcase is. We actually keep the Junkyard Catapult. But, I mean, I guess the Junkyard Catapult can't function without Cannonball, so it would have to be a build kind of like this, to where the briefcase is now a captain's wheel, and then we keep the Radiant Grenade on board so that we get those stacks onto Catapult. I mean, maybe that's okay. I was really just kind of envisioning that. I mean, maybe we need to get the real vision out here and just forget that we have Heat Lover. But it just strikes me as being so good against all of these Vanessas that we're out here facing. The catapult activates so slow. There's no real good like burn weapons either. It's like I guess we could do something like this to where the briefcase is, say, a cannon, or the briefcase is that swashbuckle, then we have a cannon and pop snappers, and then maybe lighter out here at the end. Like, I guess that could be a thing. But, well, no, at the end we would need to have like a Vanessa amulet. I think I'm gonna go for the swashbuckle and assume that we're just gonna get away from the catapult. As much as I love to meme, I don't think the I don't think the catapult is gonna cut it for us. So let's do this. Let's sell off the briefcase, get the extra money. We'll buy the swashbuckle, try and make something work with it. Take a roll real quick, see if anything else interesting turns up. I saw the large item and was like, shit, yeah, that's gonna be our crow's nest to make the build pop, but not quite it. Not quite it. That's okay though. We're looking good. Did the game freak out because we thought for too long? Out here life coaching this board, and the game says, "Oh shit, bust left." Wonder how a life coach is doing these days. I don't really follow Hearthstone too much anymore, but I saw that they had like a world championship of sorts, maybe within like the past 6 months, and everybody was just complaining because the way that every single player played was they would just sit there and think until the rope came up, and then they wouldn't make any actions until the rope was there. And so it was like they would just burst of speed through all of their plays once the rope came up. And if you want to have something really fucking boring to watch, it's just staring at a Hearthstone screen while people don't do anything. And then the excitement turns up when trying to figure out if the player had enough APM to make all of the actions before the rope finished. And it just sounds fucking miserable. Just sitting around watching a control warrior mirror sounds just miserable anyways. Just people playing every single game to like super deep fatigue. But then also having it be like just a fucking 75-minute game of player roping after roping after roping after roping. It sounded fucking miserable. But not my problem. I certainly didn't watch it. So not my problem. All right, let's move on here, though. So what are we going to do with this? I'd like to start moving into these higher tier opponents. We could fight Trash Golem. Like, I think Trash Golem actually has a Junkyard Catapult as one of his items, right? That's his thing. Like, if we go to Trash Golem, yeah, he's got the Junkyard Catapult in his mix. And so there's a little bit of, interest in going here and just trying to pick up the diamond version, but it's not that great of an item, right? I'd be actually more interested in the skill and the jury rigger skill to get the reloads on the items. But I don't think I'm super interested in that. Let's actually just excuse me, let's just go to the Enclave Weeper here. I think this is okay. We aren't making super great usage out of this swashbuckle, but I think this is probably about as good as it's going to get. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard what old life coach is up to anymore. Like if I watch people on Twitch or whatnot, I typically just watch Super JJ. Like that's the player that I liked watching the most when it was with Teamfight Tactics and Battlegrounds and stuff. He was good buddies with life coach, and he has a lot of those kind of life coachy elements to him in terms of thinking and stuff. But his entertainment value was much higher, and still see old JJ's around. I think he played the Bazaar for a day or two and then went back to playing WoW or something. I think he was playing WoW these days. Everybody seems to make the transition into hardcore WoW every once in a while, and I think he was on that, but I don't keep up enough, so I wouldn't really know. I do like pop in and see if the LOR streamers are ever around. They occasionally see some of them playing the Bazaar, like what's his name? The guy that won Worlds, Alan. I saw Alan ZQ on here for a while, and it seems like after maybe the first couple of weeks, he dipped out to something else. But none of the old standbys from the LOR days seem to be picking this up.
Right? Overthrowing tyrants, liberation,
All right,
and such.
enough chit chat. Let's get on focus here. I think we'll just go into the docks. Well, 5 gold is probably better than what we'll get out of the docks since we can't get experience points there. So that's fine. Most certainly going to Mountain Pass. See who turns up here. Trash Golem. He says, Bust, here's your opportunity. You got to be going for diamond junkyard catapults. And so I'll tell you what. If we hit and go diamond on this round, then I'll do it. Okay. I'll go for the catapult, but not really counting on it. Man, he has so much burn on him though. Maybe it's better than I'm giving it credit for. Maybe it's better than we're giving it credit for. We should have checked the damage there at the end and see where we stood.
The quicker the fight.
I mean, realistically, like the cannonball's enough to keep this thing up and running. Be happy with this. 5 stacks out of pop snappers seems better than lighter. Okay. Let's see how we feel up against Pig here. Somebody that shouldn't just be nugging us straight out of the game, giving us a little bit of time to build up. The Junkyard Catapult should certainly be better against him. What's he even battling with? He's got an unscaled out of ladle. Okay. Get that catapult hit in. Didn't crit, so it doesn't look as fun. You gotta be hitting those crits, Junkyard Catapult, if you want us to take you seriously. Yeah, we're not burning nearly enough with this going down now. Got up to 36 regen, which seems like it should be decent against that shitty Adelatl, but this is what it is. All right, that was our last round to give. We gotta focus in and go on a tear here. And so with this stuff, looks pretty shitty. I guess we can check out the small items, see if anything on theme turns up. Don't want this grape shot, so we're not gonna go that route. Looking more for Vanessa's amulet. Would like to find pet rock, something in that small space that we could fit on board here. Didn't turn up, is what it is. Let's hit the Tox clock, see if we find any haste items. I do like Tropical Islands, but the end game build that I envision this being is going to be with a crow's nest and then a smaller item on board. Like just another weapon. We get 2 weapon usages out of the swashbuckle, and that's it. Tropical Island would be more towards if we were going to really stack, like Junkyard Catapult, Pulp Snappers, get the lighter in here, go with cannon. Like, I do like Tropical Island, but I think we're going to be trying to be too fast for it, and we don't have the money to fuck around with this thing. So I'm going to skip over that for the moment. Nothing too spectacular in here. We could look to pick up the star chart at this point, still use that as something at the docks. Then what's up next? I think we could beat Shock Trooper here. This is one to where if you don't kill him fast enough, he's kind of like fighting, was it Patches? Was Patches the fight in, no, Patches was the pirate in WoW. There was that guy in Naxxramas that was like the first gear check that they ever put in the game, to where you just had to kill him in 90 seconds or he would just nuke your board. It's kind of like what it is fighting against this plasma rifle that fucking crit against us. Oh, it's going to be close. Barely got him. Had about half a second left on that plasma rifle cooldown. What you got? Welding torch? Bullshit. Alright, so what's up next? With this, I think we'll just take the gold tier skills. We're not really trying to pick up anything specific in there. We'd rather find things that let us do haste type stuff, but no real choice within this. Haste a vehicle. Are you a vehicle? Why isn't the catapult a vehicle? Bullshit. I guess trebuchets aren't vehicles either. Not too interested in sabotage. Oceanic Rush is the big one, right? This is why I'm so, like, not really interested in things like swashbuckles. I'd really like in these games to where we put Captain's Wheel in the middle, and then we just hit it with Oceanic Rush. And so it's hasted right out the gates, and then the double barrel should almost immediately get hasted off of the Captain's Wheel. But we can't do that with a swashbuckle out here. Now, it's not to say that we couldn't say put like a Captain's Wheel here, and then an item where the catapult is, and then the swashbuckle, and then something off to the edge. Like, that could maybe work, I guess. Just not super excited about it. I guess a bonus to going Oceanic Rush is it does make something like Submarine a lot better. I could definitely get behind putting Submarine on board and then trying to use the small items like Vanessa Amulet as opposed to the big item in the big item in Crow's Nest. All right, let's just take the rush and see if we can't build to it really quick. So what do we got here? Don't want ammo items. Small non-weapon item. Probably fine. See if we spike something instead of just taking the 50 health. Missed. I think we'll just go to the item shop now.
Come on in. Let's chat.
So what do we got? Can we ever do flagship? Right, we're pretty close in terms of what we have on board. Right, we've got the tool and powder flask, the ammo and double barrel. We don't have a friend, we don't have a property, but we have a friend in the bag and that catfish that we just picked up. And then we could look to switch catfish out for pet rock. Like, I don't hate that. And then the flagship does work nicely with swashbuckle, just slamming in a bunch of damage. And then we have that oceanic rush to immediately hit with the flagship. And so I think it's time to say goodbye to the junkyard catapult. Just fucking get rid of it before we before we get too attached to that thing. And then we can add in the flagship. So that's going to happen. We get the catfish in out here, and then, like, what do we look to do for our last option, right? We could even put bayonet out here to the edge of flagship. I like the flagship right at the edge, though. It's not the hugest deal, but we do have the rightmost item getting that 16% crit, and then that 16% crit converts into damage with swashbuckle, and then that gets 4x'd off of the flagship. And so I think I want him out to the edge and not use something like bayonet. We should be able to roll again, though. See what we can do. Maybe we actually even put grenade in this round. Getting somewhere. All right, nothing hits with this. Okay, up against Pig. Let's see what we can do. Who's going to be our last add? We could add in the lighter just for that consistent regen gain. We could put in Radiant Grenade as a, burst damage source, or Pop Snappers probably doesn't deal as much burn as the lighter. So I think we'll just put the lighter in. See what we can do.
You should know.
Make regen great again, right? That's what that's what everybody's out there saying. Elon Musk out there saying make regen great again. Was this just a shield stack? Not certain how we stand against this. I like to think that our poison might be able to do something. Not certain if we're going to beat this guy before his scaling really kicks in. And we are almost to the point to where our burn can stack. Like, we were getting there with crits. Like, when the lighter crit, we would move up. So when you're at 6, you burn down exactly. You don't scale up, but with a crit, you can scale up. But his freezes were kind of canceling that out. I was curious if the lighter wouldn't be able to keep his shields from stacking. But all right, we're getting there. We finally got some direction. We're lacking the money now, so let's just take these chocolate bars. I don't think we're going to use grenade. Not going to use that thing anymore. Just get a little bit of health out of this. Next set. What was that thing we were looking for in here? Oh, we want small items, right? We want Pet Rock, and we want Vanessa's Amulet. Got it. And so medium items, probably a bit expensive at this point. Let's just take the damage. That'll carry through the whole round. Up next, no real bonuses coming out of these. We'll fight the Wandering Shoal, just get that big experience bonus. Maybe something cool turns up, right? When you slow charge an item's not the worst thing you can do. I love to put heavy onto double barrel, but no real expectations out of this round except for the experience points. Actually wouldn't hate replacing lighter with Chimera.
See that plank?
If that has an opportunity to be a thing. Like, it's very nice getting that round start slow to give your weapons a chance to pop. But we'll see. One thing at a time here. Alright, so we took the skill. What did that get us? Upgrade hammer, pretty useless at this point. Coming in here, we could get the experience point out of study. Not going to be enough to level us up before the next round and get that skill before the PvP battle. I don't think we want to go to large items. Like, I don't think we're really established enough to put a crow's nest in. Right? I'm not opposed to, say, putting crow's nest of the stuff out here on the left, but it does nuke all of our usefulness with the flagship, right? We would want that to be submarine. So I think we'll skip past it. Still just take the experience point, though. In this next set, maybe. If we roll the dice well, we might be able to get enough to level up. One short. Fuck, we hit the 2. Why wouldn't we miss? Why wouldn't we miss in this game, right? All right. Oh, and the opponent's at level 10 as well. That's where it really hurts in those early rounds, not being able to fight against the higher PvE opponents. It's like this guy's doing poison stuff, though. We might be okay. Those quick booms out here with the double barrel LOL poison stuff. Might be okay. Just fucking murdered that guy. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, and so what do we got? Ooh, Deadly. And so Deadly on Swashbuckle does the same thing as it does on Crow's Nest, right? Hang on, no, that's not true. What was that? Oh, we need it on items. Swash. It does double crit, right? This has double crit chance bonus, and so instead of being at 50% crit, it's gonna carry it up to 100% on the next levels. I think that's fine. That's going to be better than making either a deadly double barrel or a deadly flagship. So let's go ahead and stack that one in. Just a huge, huge, huge damage boost here. All right. I dig it. And so let's see what we can do here. Not really looking for tools. We can skip past that. Looks like we're just going to be taking chocolate bars again. Start selling some of this stuff we'll never use. Alright, what's up next? Non-weapon items we could do, but I'll just take the boost, get the guaranteed good thing. We're kind of hurting for money. If we have to go and purchase, a gold pet rock or something, then we can really miss on having the cash to do stuff. And so we'll watch out on that. Weapons platform, I can't remember if that's the one that we actually want. Oh, that's a monster. Come on. Distributed systems, the one I'm interested in. When you use a large item, haste to small items. That could be useful for what we're doing. Keen Eye's big with what we're doing. I don't need battery in this build. This is an interesting place to pick up battery as far as a ammo item goes. We have double barrel, so it's not as big of a deal, but you can watch for it here. First Aiden exists in this as well. Maybe this is okay. I think towards Pharaoh's Khan, knowing that he has both left-handed and right-handed and haste potion. But let's just go with the platform. There's some good hits in here, and I like getting that extra experience out of the battle. The skills are good. First Aiden would be a good replacement for Catfish. Let's see what turns up. Coolant.
The hold can't hold this.
Not what we were looking for. That's okay, though. What's up next? Just look at items.
The Bazaar's a crazy place.
See if one of these randos we want turns up. Not interested in upgrading Star Chart. We're only taking that for the docks. Nothing in the second set. Bummer. That's why I like picking those guaranteed upgrades when we can get them. And then here we'll take skills. I know that stuff we want is in the small items, but the skills are going to give us something that's guaranteed to be useful. And Deadly Eye is fine, right? It's we're already... Oh, we're not at 100% crit. I was going to say, once the swashbuckle upgrades will be there, but it's going to put the damage on these things and help us out right now. And so feels like a good upgrade, and spent almost all of our money on that. So glad that we weren't getting too greedy with our spends. So here, let's see what the haste and charge brings to us. Aquatic Rush, don't really need to upgrade. Right, we're pretty locked and loaded on just hitting the 2 items. It upgrades the number of items hit, not the haste duration. And so I don't think we'll need to upgrade that ever. Sick Burn's not going to work. We've got to sell some stuff and roll on here. For these things. All right, so what do we got in here? Not a lot of real wins. charging the poison items not that big of a deal unless we hit an enchant. Same thing with Invigorating Cold. It's not bad, but we don't have any freezes yet, and so we can use Quick Freeze. Just immediately get a freeze right at the start of the battle. Not that bad.
My fight
Right,
isn't
up against
with
Pig.
you, but if you insist.
Are you sure? Have you noticed I'm huge?
Interesting. It's like weird set of items. He's I saw the Noisy Cricket in here, the go wide weapon thing, but he only had one skill on his side. I was curious to see what he was bringing out. Pretty strong Addle-Addle that he's got here. I don't think we're damaging this fast enough. But, I mean, this is one of these rounds to where we have one enchanted item against 3 enchanted items from him, and so this kind of is what it is. So with this stuff, picking up heal is fine. It's another thing that stacks with the swashbuckle, and so I think we'll want to put heal on our double barrel here. Just going to give us the fastest opportunity to start sustaining. Also makes us not feel as bad about not having a crow's nest.
Red, so the crew won't see me bleed.
Crow's nest coming in, with a bit of heal. So that looks good. We're getting that direction we want and need. So out of this, we don't really have any money. We can spend 5 gold to put 10 attack on the double barrel. I guess it's okay, but I think we want to come in and just pick up some money here. And so whopping 2 gold coming out of the coming out of that guy, that's fine. Take the temporary boost here. It's free. The 25 damage is pretty huge with our build. Scales so well with all of our multicast. And now here we got a real choice, right? We could fight the Void Colossus. I'm pretty certain we can beat the Caltrops guy, especially if he doesn't blow up our double barrel. But Trash Titan does have that interesting skill that when you use a small item, charge a large item. It's just so challenging to actually hit that thing. Well, let's fight the Void Colossus, see if we can't pick up all of this extra EXP. And then, again, like if he blows up one item, as long as it's not our double barrel, we should be pretty okay. I thought it was the Caltrops guy. Same thing applies to him. He destroys an item right at the start. I think we could beat the Caltrops guy as well. My concern from this point forward is we need to... Which one's this? When you burn, charge a shield. Maybe that can convert to something. But my concern at this point is we need to replace out the fish and the lighter. We really need to get those small items on board. The Vanessa amulet and the pet rock. And so let's do our best to try and pick those up. We'll go to the non-weapon items here. See what comes in. A lot of high-powered stuff that I think our build just doesn't need, right? Crow's Nest, we're pretty far away from using. Captain's Wheel, we talked about it extensively. We can't replace the swashbuckle with it. So let's get past that stuff. Nothing in this set.
I feel like that decision comes
Bummer.
from a negative place.
Now here, medium and large items we just don't need. We could look for upgrades, but I'm just going to take the haste item at this point, try and shore up our dollars just a little bit. See if we can't do a little bit better against this Vanessa. So sell off those loot items. See if we can't get to that beautiful 4-win mark so we don't lose any LP this round. He's got rigged to get out the gates quick, and he's doing half-assery. He's got half poison, half Langsang. We don't have any we don't have any shields to fight through the Langsang. But we were able to kill him before the second hit came in. Beautiful. Not disrespecting the guy. You know what we're talking about, half-assery, right? You want to be really good at one thing. You don't want to be kind of good at 3 separate things. And he had, a decent Langsang, but it didn't have any haste. It didn't have any cooldown reduction. It didn't have any crit attached to it that I could see, like he didn't have a crow's nest with it or anything, and then he had some of the poison stuff going, right? But with his poison, with water wheel, I think he had water wheel and pufferfish. I wasn't paying super close attention, but Langsang doesn't combo with those, and so he was just doing a handful of things not particularly well, instead of really stacking in on poison and haste, or really stacking in on Langsang and cooldown reduction and crit. But cool, we got the win. We aren't losing LPs today. Go us. Diamond Vanessa amulet turning up. Beautiful. Love seeing that. Now we're just really looking for pet rock and upgrades. There is a world to where we can get rid of ammo flask. If we get the double barrel up to say like 5 ammo, 6 ammo or something, we can consider getting rid of it, but that's looking to be pretty far down the road. Skip past this stuff. I don't think we want Pesky Pete. Like, we don't really have any combos with it. Like, it is a friend is why you have to consider it. And we have we have that one burn skill, but that burn skill has really, the ship has sailed on that one. And so, feeling pretty good here. Go ahead and get our Vanessa amulet in. It's a huge damage boost across the board. 100% crit on everything. Puts 40 damage on our weapons. I dig it. I dig it. So here, take that temporary boost. Don't have any money. Anyways, we could look to fight Trash Titan this round. It's a lot different, right? The Frost Street champion only gives 1 more experience point, and he doesn't have any good items. To where if we end up, you know, coming out and spiking Juggler, that's a very real thing. And then there might be a world to where, you know, something like Catalyst fits in. I'm not as excited about Catalyst since we're split up with the Swashbuckle, but might do something. Alright, so now upgrade an item. I think that in this stage we want to just upgrade the Swashbuckle, right? It's going to put essentially 50 damage on both of our weapons. To where if we upgrade the single flagship or the single double barrel, neither of those is going to give us 50. So that looks good. Now here I like Pearl's dig site. Just a great opportunity to make money. Is this a radiant boulder? What a tempting meme weapon to go after, a multicast boulder. I'm going to take it just to sell it for the 24 gold. But wouldn't that be a thing, huh? Wouldn't that be a thing? Oh, Shiny the Boulder. Always just sounds like the name of a band to me. Deadly the Boulder, Shiny the Boulder. You know, if you're wanting to go out and start a band, you're welcome to take the name, you know. You don't have to give me any credit. I said I never give you all money for my Powerball winnings. You don't have to give me money for the for the sweet band names I'm dropping on you. Let's see, what do we got here? The chocolate bars are kind of fine. I guess we can go to items and maybe just hit an upgrade somewhere. Iceberg's not going to cut it. What do we got here? Nothing really. There is a world to where you can look to say cut the flagship for blowgun, since the blowgun's going to be getting plus 100 damage from the swashbuckle. It does a ton of poison damage, but we don't really have any other combos for it. Skip out of there before we do something dumb. All right, I don't think we have anything to sell in the bag. Up against the Guilty Biscuit. Got a cat trying to hang out. It's been a while since we've had one of these cats on here. This guy's a dumb shit. Here's old Bernie. Dumbest cat I've ever encountered. He puts his dumb assery on all of our other cats while he's at it, and so it's fairly annoying. He loves chewing on stuff and getting into shit. The way I like to describe Bernie to people is, you know, everybody has that friend that's always like, thinks it's funny to be at a party and just like hit you in the balls. And so it's like, you know, you're out there, you're hanging out and stuff, you're at the party having a good time, and he thinks it's just so LOL to just run around and hit you in the balls. But, you know, you ask yourselves like why you still hang out with this guy, why he gets to stick around, and then you know, you really question your decision making as this person's in your life. But then a little bit further down the road, like you're out and you get a flat tire and you call like 5 or 6 people and everybody's like ghosting you, or you're like, oh, I'm at work, I can't come out, or being like, oh, I'm doing this or doing that, I can't come and help you. And so you call the guy that hit you in the balls and he's like, fucking right there. He says, I'm there. And you're like, oh, turns out you're only a shitty person a part of the time. And so that's kind of how Bernie is. He's a real shithead half of the time, but he's a real sweetheart the other half. And so no real hate and disdain running around from him most of the time. But let's see, we got the chance here for heavy. I prefer to put heavy onto double barrel, but it's locked in with the restorative, which is fine. We're getting a shitload of heal out of this thing. I'm really loving what the double barrel's doing here. I'm pretty certain we just have to put it on flagship. I wanted to see what it does on Vanessa's amulet, though, because Vanessa's amulet does like round start things. Oh, we're on monsters. So Vanessa's amulet, heavy, round, or oh, when you crit, slow one item 1 second. That's interesting. I thought it was like it's changed. It used to be round. Maybe I'm thinking of turbo. I thought it used to activate item like right at the start of the round, but this does give us the way to essentially have heavy double barrel, right? If it's going to crit on every single attack anyways, then the heavy on the amulet is just going to be spectacular, getting 4 crits on the flagship, 2 on the double barrel, and then if we can find a curio to get it up to 2 seconds, it's going to be pretty massive. And so glad we looked. I was getting pretty ready to just put it on flagship, but this should be good. It's not bad on flagship, right? Flagship spreads it out. So flagship, I think, hits 3 items. Slow 1 item for 2 seconds. So we would hit a total of 8 on an activation instead of 4. But now we get the activations on the double barrel as well. All right, looks good. So let's hit up the non-weapon items. You know, maybe we'll find that pet rock. We don't really need it at this point, I guess, in the sense that we have max crit, but it does put quite a bit of damage on our weapons out here, and it does get some benefits being on board, and so we'll keep looking for it. Not here. I guess he's not a non-weapon item. We were really just able to find powder flask there. All right, in this set, though, take the big EXPs from the Veteran Octopus. Should be a pretty easy W. This does work how we thought, right? Yeah, when you crit, slow 1 item 1 second. You can see the slows starting to branch out there.
It's over
All right.
already.
Easy
We
peasy.
barely got our flags up.
So what's up now? Diamond skills? Ooh, is that a flashy reload? It's pretty tempting just having the flagship keep the reloads going onto the double barrel, but like, what tool do we ever replace the powder flask with? Like, I'm not going to be excited about lighter. I think we want to keep it and just try and find a stronger thing. And invigorating cold is actually quite interesting in the sense that the first time you freeze, haste 3 items 2 seconds, and if you remember the skills we have, we're going to immediately haste at the start of the battle with Oceanic Rush. Once that immediate haste hits, we're going to freeze with Quick Freeze, and then when that Quick Freeze pops, we can then get 6 more seconds of haste put on board with the Invigorating Cold. And so that is kind of tempting. I guess one of the like reasons to take Powder Flask out is for nonsense like this, right? We don't really want hastes hitting on Powder Flask. We want hastes on Double Barrel Flagship. We don't really want it on these smaller items out here, but I think the Invigorating Cold is probably just the way to go with this. I dig that. All right, now take the guaranteed boost from the temporary shop. What's up next? Don't want large items. We'll go to the Monster Ranch. Lots of decent stuff. Cooldown reduction, EXPs. Probably just take the 2 experience points here. It was a very low tier insect wing at silver. And this is always a bummer with the game, right? We pick up the item, we sell it, we get up to the full 8 EXP, but we can't level up until the next round. And so, if this round is close, it's because fucking Raynad. Raynad needs to come out and fix his game. I'm about to drop a 1-star review on it. That's what I do in life. I dropped another 1-star review yesterday. I went to a car wash and was not happy with the service, and so fuck me. And so I had to come out and drop the 1-star on him. Made me feel better immediately. Not feeling better about this run, but man, as soon as that Lang Zang unlocked, he just fucking popped us. We got it frozen right at the start, but weren't able to deal enough damage to get the takedown. That level up wouldn't have been enough. Damn. All right, well, GG, well played. A bit of an unfortunate run here, but I think I'm fairly happy with how we salvaged this. It's the thing that was the problem with this build was like a large part, a lot of how those early days went, in the sense that we weren't able to really like pick up steam and get up and running. We just threw away like 4 or 5 days right there at the beginning, and in both the general sense and with Vanessa, I really want these games to be ending on like day 12. When you get past day 12, you get into that point to where the fixer upper Pygmalions that survived are really strong, and the pigs that are still strong on day 14 and day 15 are going to kind of super outscale you. And then when you're on these really late days fighting against other Vanessas, they tend to be doing obnoxious stuff. And that's kind of the problem with what we ran into here, is our build isn't, we didn't win fast enough to just cut it out. Like, this is the kind of build to where if you were scrolling through Reddit and somebody's like, herder, look, I hit 10 wins and I'm posting it on the Reddit, here's my perfect victory. Like, this is the kind of build that I think falls like that. You hit level 10 and you got like a good upgrade, and then you accidentally found deadly somewhere. Like, you got the opportunities to get some of these enchants, and they fell well. You aren't like super stacked with any kind of crazy combo, but you are just like generally very good. And so this is the kind of build, day 10, day 11, day 12, you can just come through and smoke people. But once you start getting into those later days, you run into people that are typically just doing like obnoxious stuff, right? And so it's either a pig that's had time to scale, the Vanessa like we just fought right there, that's able to 7k crit a Lang Zang right out the gates, even through a 3-second freeze. And we're just not able to come in and kind of beat those style of things. And so, I was hoping to get this build to 7 with how this started out, to where we were like 1-5 or 1-6 at the start, and really struggling to find some direction and to where to go. I'm happy with how this turned out at the end of the day, but that late game Vanessa is just not where you want to be. Like, if, again, like the way I kind of describe it in Magic terms is, if you're playing the aggro red deck, you're trying to win the game on turn 5, turn 6. If it goes to turn 9, very slim chance you can win, right? You have to be in that space to where you accidentally pop off like a lightning bolt, your opponent missed a couple of their healing cards and this and that and this and that. It's like you're at that 1% space to win. That's what it feels like with these Vanessas. And, we can beat other aggro Vanessas. We can beat some stuff like that, but we're not doing anything like super obnoxious. And we have, stuff out here that's just not doing a lot in terms of the pufferfish and the ammo flask. And we didn't get that haste item on board, and so we have to wait the full amount of time for double barrel to start to shoot. Like, that kind of stuff just hasn't really popped off with this, without having any kind of really super strong skill to make it happen, right? We don't have, some kind of weird burn thing happening with void energy to where we generate an infinite. And so at the end of the day, again, like with how this started, with how crappy everything was going at the beginning, and we were just getting annihilated by everybody, and we couldn't pick up any steam or get a full board or anything like that, I'm happy that we got to that 4-win mark, because you just don't lose out on anything. That's what I think that, as time kind of progresses, we'll look to appreciate a little bit more. In the sense right now, the game feels very binary in that people consider 10 wins to be a win, and they consider anything less than 10 wins to be a loss. And I do really like being back in this ladder grind, to where it feels like there's something different happening between each of the win thresholds, right? And so if you get to the 4-win mark, you don't get anything, but you don't lose any LP, right? If you get to the 7-win mark, you do get to pick up that LP, advance your stats to the next tier. And then if you get the 10-win victory, you get the 2 LP bonus instead of the 1 point. Like, I do really appreciate at this stage of the game, it does feel like we've done something here, but it still doesn't feel like that point in, say, Battlegrounds, as to where, you had a game go super shitty and that you're not going to win the game. But if you're able to get like a 4th for a very small win, or a 5th for a very minor loss, it feels so much better than just having like an 8th place finish, right? A top 8 finish, getting last. And I don't think the Bazaar really carries that kind of feeling very well, if at all. It just, like, at this point right now, it feels, again, very binary, as to where you get 10 wins or it's a loss. Like, 9 wins doesn't even really feel like a win. It's 10 or nothing. And I think we kind of need to feel like, this 4-win victory here, 2 things. Like, number one, it kind of feels like a win, and that we didn't go backwards in terms of our progress. And then it also feels like a win in the sense that where you you don't get to feel it, but you kind of know it's there. Is that there's not a lot of people that would have navigated this to this point, right? If you look at the whole of the people playing the Bazaar, or even the people in like gold, bronze, silver, whatever, that there's a large portion of people that would have carried this to a loss, to where we were able to carry it to a win. And that makes me feel good on the inside, Just tell me, Bust, you carried this one well. You did good work getting that 4-win mark out of this, and I'm proud of you. We're proud of you. Everyone's proud of you. And so, good stuff. I had fun with that one. Hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So if everyone enjoyed the video, hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. You had a good time watching. This is Bust of me. Thank you for being here.